And Solomon is what we talked about last. Well, the next king is Rehoboam, and this is what's cool about the Bible. It doesn't just talk about salvation, which is the most important thing, but it also talks about relationships and our relationships with each other and even businesses. And this is really cool. So Rehoboam becomes king. It says all the assembly of Israel came to Rehoboam, and they said, "Your father made our yoke heavy. Now therefore lighten our hard service. Your father is in his heavy yoke that's been on us, and we will serve you." He said to them, "Go away 3 days, then come to me again." So the people went away. Then King Rehoboam took counsel of the old men who had stood before Solomon his father while he was living, and he said, "How do you advise me to answer the people?" And they said to him, "If you be a servant to this people today, and serve them, and speak good words to them, and answer them, then they will be your servants forever." But he abandoned the counsel of the old men and took counsel of the young men, and he asked his friends basically, how should I answer this people? And the young men said, "You should say this to him. Your father made your yoke heavy." He goes, hang on, let me see. And the young men, okay. "Your father made your yoke heavy." He says, "But my little finger is thicker than my father's thighs." He says, "And now whereas your father laid you a heavy yoke, I will add to that burden. And my father disciplined you with whips, and I will discipline you with scorpions." Well, at the end of the story, the people come back, and he answers them harshly like that. Says, "You thought my father was bad. My little finger's thicker than his thighs." And he says, "I'm going to make it harder." And so through that, there were 12 tribes of Israel. 10 of them left him, and only 2 stayed with him. It's a good lesson in leadership, okay? Because a great leader, and listen to the words that the old men gave him. He said, if you be a servant to these people and you serve them and speak good words to them, they'll be your servants forever. And a good leader leads by serving. A tyrant or a tyrannical leader leads by pushing, and it caused rebellion, right? And some people can have some level of success if you push people and you only seek what you can get out of it. You'll have if you're lucky, you may obtain a small level of success. But I like to listen to a lot of business entrepreneurs and people that are doing great things in all different industries. And all of them will say, and I've heard this said a lot, if you want to be wealthy, don't seek to be wealthy. Seek to see how you can help many people. And if you find a way to serve people, the wealth will come. And it was the same way with this king. If he had have served the people, instead of being just the king over 2 tribes, he could have been a king over many tribes, over 12 tribes, and would have had much more success. But if you push, and I saw this by a guy that was speaking about leadership, and he says, if you take these chains, it's like this. If you push it, it's unpredictable what direction the chains are going to go. You see, some of them are falling back. But if you lead by example, and you direct, and you serve, the direction is predictable. And it goes that way. If you want to have success, if you want to have success in life, you learn to serve others. And not only is it going to bring more wealth or whatever it is that you're seeking to get, but also it's going to be more enjoyable. The most miserable life is a life that's lived self-serving. But the most enjoyable life is the one that leads to serve others. Anyway, that's it. All right. Tell me, Father, we